So sometimes I like to do the unexpected, like vacuuming while wearing a tiara. Life is like that, isn't it? When you wear a tiara while vacuuming or cleaning the toilet, kind of changes your outlook about the task at hand, right? So unexpected, that's the thing that I'm talking about today. I was reading in the book of Esther yesterday, and there were some unexpected things that happened. I used to have a saying on my wall that came from the book of Esther. I bet you can guess what it is. Perhaps this is the moment for which you have been created. So Esther was raised by her cousin Mordecai after her parents died. And an unexpected opportunity came up for her when King Xerxes made an inappropriate request of Queen Vashti. This came on after he had too much to drink, and she refused his request. As a result, unfortunately, he banished her and began to search for a new queen. And so out of all the women in his harem, King Xerxes chose Esther to be his queen. There's a whole story about her being schooled and made beautiful for like 12 months before this happened. Mordecai told her to keep her identity a secret. So nobody knew that she was Mordecai's cousin, and nobody knew that she was a Jew. Now, Mordecai spent a lot of time at the king's gate because he wanted to keep track of what was happening with Esther. And one day while he was there, he heard a couple of the king's eunuchs talking. They were planning to kill the king. So Mordecai told Esther about this, and Esther shared that information with the king and gave all of the credit to Mordecai. So when Haman, the king's second in command, came out, all the men at the king's gate were required to bow down to him, but Mordecai refused. When he refused to bow down, that infuriated Haman, so much so that he made a plan to kill all the Jews, including Mordecai. He told King Xerxes of his plan and offered to pay for the operation himself. The king told him it was his money and he could do whatever he wanted to. So a message was sent throughout the land, and when Mordecai learned of the plan for the Jews to all be killed on a specific date, he tore his clothes and dressed in sackcloth. So when he approached the king's gate, he wasn't allowed to enter because no one who was wearing sackcloth could enter. Esther learned of this and had her attendant offer him some clothing to wear, but he refused it. Mordecai sent a message back to her stating, "Perhaps this is why you were made queen, for such a time as this." You see, he wanted her to use her title to approach the king and ask for a reversal of this evil plan. Esther knew what would happen to anyone who approached the king without an invitation, including her: death. Unless he would offer her his golden scepter, she was sure to die. But on behalf of herself, her people, and Mordecai, she said, "If I die, I die." She approached the king. And when she did, he held up his golden scepter. He invited her in and told her he would give her anything she wanted. She only asked the king to bring Haman to a banquet that she had prepared for them. And when they came, and the king told her again he would offer anything, even up to half of what he owned, she asked for just one more banquet with the king and Haman, telling him she would answer his question more completely at that time. So there was Haman bragging about his dinner invitation, bragging about being second in command to the king and all of the money that he had. And when he went to the king's gate and saw Mordecai there again, Mordecai just ignored him. Haman was infuriated, and his wife suggested that he build a platform to hang Mordecai. And so Haman liked that idea and actually built a gallows. Now, the king knew that Mordecai was a Jew, but he didn't know that Queen Esther was, or that she was his cousin. One night, he couldn't sleep. He was up all night, and during that time he went through all the ledgers and learned that Mordecai hadn't been honored for sharing the information about the eunuch's plot to kill him. So while Haman was planning to kill Mordecai and all the Jews, King Xerxes questioned him and said, "What would one do for a man the king wanted to honor?" And when the king asked him this, Haman thought that the king was talking about him. So he came up with all of these lavish rewards. He told the king to get one of his robes and a crown and put them on the man, parade the man on a horse through town, saying, "This is the man the king wants to honor." Imagine Haman's shock when King Xerxes said, "That's perfect. Do it immediately. Go do this for Mordecai the Jew." Plot twist. At the second dinner, King Xerxes asked Queen Esther again what she would like for him to bestow upon her. She said, "I want my people to go free. There has been a plan to kill myself, Mordecai, and all the Jews in the land." The king, he was furious, and he asked, "Who is in charge of this?" She pointed to the evil Haman. The king exploded. It came to his attention that Haman had built a gallows to hang Mordecai. That was the end of Haman. The gallows was used to kill him. King Xerxes gave Esther his signet ring and told her she could write up a decree canceling out the plan to kill all of the Jews and to give them permission to arm themselves and fight back to anybody who was setting out to destroy them. They were also allowed to claim anything that their conquered owned. Actually, they didn't take any of it. This was all to take place on a specific date. And if a decree was signed in the king's name and sealed with the king's signet ring, such as the decrees that she put out, it couldn't be revoked. The Jews conquered over 75,000 people in 127 provinces that the king ruled over. Jews everywhere celebrated. Queen Esther shared with the king about her relationship with Mordecai. And Mordecai was placed in second command in Haman's place. Today, Jews still celebrate this holiday called Purim. This year, this celebration will be held on March 23rd and 24th. Quite a turn of events for Mordecai, for Esther, and for Haman. It's not the same as vacuuming while wearing a tiara, but good overcame evil in an unexpected way. Thought I'd share that with you. Hope you enjoyed it.